Hey folks, Angry Woodturners here again. I've just been thinking I wanted to give a short video here of how to actually cut your tenon on your bowl blanks. I think a lot of new turners have trouble with this, and they complain that they lose their bowls off of their thing, and generally it's because the tenon is probably cut wrong, and it doesn't get good contact with the teeth on your chuck. So I thought I'd just kind of give you my opinion of what I do and the the thinking behind it. So this will just be a short video, I believe, and we'll get after it here. I've got a I've got a rough turn bowl mounted backwards on my chuck, so the tenon is a little bit larger than it actually needs to be because it was rough turned, and I waited for it to dry and shift and do all that good stuff. So I'll show you my process of taking the tenon down to the correct size and little key points of where the I got a little sample of one of the chuck jaws so I can show you how it fits with the chuck. So we'll get started here. I'll tip you down here and we'll get going. Get my safety gear on. Now I'm going to take my calipers here that I've got set for a little over 2 inches for my jaws, and we'll get that marked out on here. Just remember, you only touch the left side here, not the right side, as you're making your marks here. The idea is to have as small a tenon on there as you can get without being too small, because that will give you more contact all the way around this inside or the outside, whichever the case may be. I'm taking off some waste here. And another note, I use a Vic Mark chuck, so it's got a dovetail jaw. You may have a chuck that's got a straight jaw, so take that into consideration. I think the main important point is that this face and the jaw and the tenon face need to fit almost like 90 degrees there, where it fits in nice and tight. Now I'm using a detailed spindle gouge. couple main key points is that you only want this face of the chuck jaws touching, and you want a little, I don't know if you can see that, you want a little space between the bottom of your tenon and the face of your inside face of your chuck, and try to get the angle of the tenon to match your jaws as close as possible. But if you're off just a little bit, I don't think that matters as much as this face being in contact and the diameter of the chuck jaws being almost closed, because these chucks are made in one piece and then they're cut apart, so they give you almost a perfect circle with about 1/8 of an inch gap between the jaws. So that there fits fairly well. Well, I'll take that off. Install it in our chuck. And there you have it. Like I said, this one's been rough turned, so I'm gonna have to turn it. That's just one of the points I needed to make. I know some people they just clamp onto it, or it'll bottom out on the bottom part of the inside of the chuck, and you just don't get the same control. You don't get a good grip on that chuck, and then it flies off, and then they always wonder, well, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Well, you know, you just need to make that tenon right. Now it's the same principle if you're going to do a recess. You will still want it flat with this point here, and following that in there, and you just don't want it to touch. I prefer if at all possible. I prefer it if at all possible that it be a tenon, because I like the compression mode. I think it holds better if you've got the opportunity. But if you're doing a platter or something like that and you need the expansion, that's completely fine too. But that's just my thoughts on the whole thing, and I just thought I'd put that out there. I had a friend that was kind of wondering why things weren't going right, and it's kind of hard to explain to him. So that's all I got for right now. I'll check y'all in with you later. Just remember, if you got anything, or you liked anything I got to say, just like and subscribe, and I'll try to get back at you. This is Angry Woodturner. Thanks.